Preface of On Our Selection. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Son of the Exiles. On Our Selection by Steele Rudd. Preface. Pioneers of Australia, to you who gave our country birth, to the memory of you whose names, whose giant enterprise, whose deeds of fortitude and daring were never engraved on tablet or tombstone, to you who strove through the silences of the bushlands and made them ours, to you who delved and toiled in loneliness through the years that have faded away, to you who have no place in the history of our country as far as it is yet written, to you who have done most for this land, to you for whom few in the march of settlement, in the turmoil of busy city life, now appear to care, and to you particularly, good old Dad, this book is most affectionately dedicated. Steele Rudd. End of preface. Chapter 1 of On Our Selection. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Son of the Exiles. On Our Selection by Steele Rudd. Chapter 1. Starting the Selection. It's 20 years ago now since we settled on the creek. 20 years! I remember well the day we came from Stanthorpe on Jerome's dray. 8 of us and all the things: beds, tubs, a bucket, the 2-seated chairs with the pine bottoms and backs that Dad put in them, some pint pots, an old crib. It was a scorching hot day too. Talk about thirst! At every creek we came to we drank till it stopped running. Dad didn't travel up with us. He'd gone some months before to put up the house and dig the waterhole. It was a slabbed house with shingled roof and space enough for 2 rooms, but the partition wasn't up. The floor was earth, but Dad had a mixture of sand and fresh cow dung with which he used to keep it level. About once every month he would put it on, and everyone had to keep outside that day till it was dry. There were no locks on the doors. Pegs were put in to keep them fast at night, and the slabs were not very close together, for we could easily see through them anybody coming on horseback. Joe and I used to play at counting the stars through the cracks in the roof. The day after we arrived, Dad took Mother and us out to see the paddock and the flat on the other side of the gully that he was going to clear for cultivation. There was no fence around the paddock, but he pointed out on a tree the surveyor's marks, showing the boundary of our ground. It must have been fine land the way Dad talked about it. There was very valuable timber on it too, so he said, and he showed us a place among some rocks on a ridge where he was sure gold would be found, but we weren't to say anything about it. Joe and I went back that evening and turned over every stone on the ridge, but we didn't find any gold. No mistake, it was a real wilderness, nothing but trees, goannas, dead timber and bears, and the nearest house, Dwyer's, was 3 miles away. I often wonder how the women stood it the first few years, and I can remember how Mother, when she was alone, used to sit on a log, where the lane is now, and cry for hours. Lonely! It was lonely! Dad soon talked about clearing a couple of acres and putting in corn. All of us did, in fact, till the work commenced. It was a delightful topic before we started. But in 2 weeks the clusters of fires that illumined the whooping bush in the night and the crash upon crash of the big trees as they fell had lost all their poetry. We toiled and toiled clearing those 4 acres, where the haystacks are now standing, till every tree and sapling that had grown there was down. We thought then the worst was over, but how little we knew of clearing land. Dad was never tired of calculating and
Sample complete. Ready to continue?